I'm not going to say that I'm not proud of the workers at McDonald's for doing something, because I am. I'm glad that they are protesting and that they're getting the message out there that this is bullshit. But what I want to talk about is how everybody keeps up this facade that things are working, and they're not. It reminds me of the moderator equation, because when you get right down to it, when I talk about moderators, I'm not simply talking about YouTube or Google or Mr. Epzion or anybody. I am talking about the superorganism in and of itself. Moderators is the name I give the sickness itself. Just as you would call it cancer, just as you would call it AIDS, that is moderators. It is a disease, and it is consuming us. And it infects every facet of our lives. So how moderators works in this regard is that people, I know why people go to work and why they do what they do, because they're scared. They're scared about how they are going to survive, how they are going to get by, and so they deal with it. They deal with this bullshit because they figure it's better than being homeless. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work like that. Look at electric and water. Electric and water companies charge whatever the fuck they feel like that day. It's not because the commodity suddenly shifts in supply. It's not because they need the money more badly one day than the next. They just feel like it. Gasoline will just continually rise up and up. Occasionally, they'll give you the illusion that it's going down. Ooh, it went down 5 cents today. Now let's raise it 15 cents tomorrow. And people are stupid enough to believe that shit. And not only is gas going to continually go up, but they're not going to invest in alternative fuels. So one day, and that may come sooner than later, people just won't be able to afford gas. And will they say something then? When suddenly 10 million people cannot get to work because they can't afford the gas to get to work, will the capitalist system say, maybe we should have thought about this more thoroughly? No, they'll just blame those 10 million workers for being too lazy to make enough money to pay for their gas. And then they'll tell them that they should think of some other way to get the work. Yes, it's their responsibility, even though they're not the ones that control the means of production. They cannot determine the price of anything. They cannot even determine how much pay they get so that they can pay said prices. But somehow, it is their responsibility to not only survive, but to do so in accordance to the will of the bourgeois. So, understand, and then there's mortgage companies on top of all of that, where even if you pay your mortgage, they still sometimes take your house. They passionately talk about repo men, but they're worried about the state taking your home or whatever. Oh, expropriation is so villainous. Ooh, communism took people's private property to make a better use out of and provide for people. But when private mortgage companies take your house, and then it just sits there collecting cobwebs, nobody even lives there, they arrest you for squatting, the person that was living there can't any longer, so it's just a waste. Oh, that's better, because it's capitalism. So, this problem is so deep that I can't get into all of it. That's why I get aggravated when people ask me stupid questions, because you just gotta watch my videos. There is a lot of shit to it. When I talk about moderators, I'm talking about everything. And I just don't have enough time in the day to tell each and every individual that's curious about it. I would like to, but it gets tiring after a while. Just watch a couple of my fucking videos and you'll understand. So, getting all of that, the best way we can handle the situation is to stop pretending. If they really want to protest, chimp out, don't go to work, or better yet, go to work and chimp out there. Break shit, throw food on the ground, throw your dung at people. I don't fucking care what you do, but don't pretend like you can continue this life and not just die in a most painful, depressed circumstance. Stop pretending like this is the way life is supposed to be, and you need to collectively freak out. Because that's the only way it's going to mean anything. If you just do it individually, people are going to call you crazy, they're going to call you a radical, they're going to write you off and ignore you, and, you know, it's good that you still damage their property and shit, and I applaud you for that. I'm not going to say it's wrong, because it isn't, but it won't be very effective, and I want it to be effective. I want you to be effective. I want you to succeed in your endeavors. So if you want to succeed in your endeavors as well, you need to consider collective action. So if they are collected enough to protest, they are collected enough to chimp out. And once people start chimping out, you know, all this whole entire system will collapse overnight. Because there will be no way to sustain it without the consent of the people. The people have to believe that they have more to lose than to gain in order to keep capitalism afloat. The moment they realize they never had anything to begin with, they are going to rise up, and then nobody will have anything, and that will suck for the bourgeois class. I'm not saying things are going to be easy. I'm not even saying that it'll get better overnight, or maybe even for a while. But you don't have much room to be talking. You don't have any room to be worried about those kinds of issues because you have nothing. I don't think people grasp that. You have nothing. You never had anything. Anything you believed you had was purely a delusion set before you by your religion, by your family, by your, you know, watered down politics. It was all a means to convince you that something was there that isn't. There isn't anything there. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. There is no working up to bettering yourself and your position. There is no American dream. There is no dream job. There is no anything. This, what you have now, is what you will always have. That's what they want for you. That's what they had planned all along for you. You are a slave. It's not getting any better. So you may as well bring it all fucking down. If we have to suffer, they have to suffer. Everybody has to suffer. That's the way it's gotta be in order for things to get better. The irony is, in order for things to get better, they have to get worse. And, you know, it has to get worse in a certain way. It can't get worse in the way they want it to. They wanted to get worse in the sense that it costs you more, you get your rights taken away, you get slammed into the ground, you get banned, you get treated like shit, you work hard on YouTube or whatever it is you're doing, and they get the credit for it, they get control of the means of production. It can't get worse in that regard. They're going to tell you that it's going to get better if that happens, that they create jobs, and that it innovates technology, and that, you know, first world society, you know, bullshit like that. Yeah, we don't want to be like North Korea. North Korea is fucking amazing compared to what you have now. Even if they have problems with food production, guess what? Your fat ass could afford to lose some weight. Even if they have problems with their technology, guess what? My phone doesn't even know what the fucking word efficient means. When I said efficient into the phone for a text message, it said on a fish in or something to that regard. These fucking tech geekers don't know what they're doing. They'll release any dog shit and call that technological advancement. You are not in a good position. So why are you so worried about the bad position? What could possibly happen? What could you really lose? Explain that to me. If you're really sincere that I'm the one talking out of my ass, and I'm the one being ridiculous, then please, leave a comment in the comment section, or video reply to me about what exactly we would lose if we all chimped out tomorrow. What? Are we going to lose our electricity? Even though that makes no sense because workers, you know, maintain the electrical outlets. Workers, you know, keep the electric factories running. Workers basically do everything, but we just have no social control over it. We do not get to decide upon our own lives, but yet somehow we're the people keeping everything going. We are the battery of this car, and yet we don't get any respect for it. So just have the car stop running. I mean, we don't get the full privilege of what the car does for people, so just shut it down. Shut it down and let the bourgeois worry about it. Let's see how well Atlas shrugs when workers stop working. So, if you disagree, please, by all means, tell me what I have to worry about.